Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Gene Curl, and this is another exciting episode of me reading my mission journal that I kept while I was a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As always, I'll just start off where I left off in the last episode. Thursday, the 22nd of April, 2004, mostly clear, hot, light wind. Tonight I told Elder S. that he is a good missionary, but he gets upset too easily, and that if he continues to let little things bother him, he will have a miserable life. He got upset tonight because I called Brother K. Elder S. seems to think that it is bad for only one missionary to talk, so phone calls are bad. I think he feels like if I call, I am only doing it because I can talk and he cannot. First thing this morning, we stopped by Sister G's house because she had signed up on the dinner calendar. She gave us a check and had us cash it at the Chevron. She also gave us some CDs of her singing Hawaiian music. Most of the morning was pretty uneventful. We talked to the drunks under the tree again. I did not feel very good most of the day, and in fact, I actually felt like lying down. We had lunch at the pad. I spent most of the time trying to fix the strap on my backpack, which broke this morning. Our landlord's mother-in-law made us top ramen for lunch. She usually always makes us lunch at least once a week. The only thing that we got in the mail is a referral, which turned out to be bogus because the address does not exist. We tracked it for 1 hour and taught a man named Charlie. He had to rush off during the last principle, but said a return for tomorrow. We taught Rodney the third and fourth discussion tonight. He did not have any concerns. The baptism should be good, but he is a little worried about inviting his family because they are strong in another church. I shared with him the story of how my mother joined the church after she came to my baptism, when at first she wanted nothing to do with the church. We set up an appointment to teach him the fifth and sixth discussion and an appointment for the baptism review. Friday, the 23rd day of April 2004. Mostly clear, but it rained a little, hot, light wind. We met Sister R, and she followed us to Jocelyn's house. Jocelyn had just woke up, so she asked if we could come back at 1900. We talked to Sister N for a while, and then went to the pad to call and try to find a team up for Jocelyn tonight. We went street contacting until lunch, but we were not able to teach because everyone we met shot us down. We were only able to give away one pass-along card. We visited a few people after lunch and then went to see Charlie, but he was not home, so we revisited an old investigator, and then we went street contacting again, and we were not able to teach anyone. We visited people instead. We stopped by the T family's house for 5 minutes before our appointment with Jocelyn and managed to get one of the sons to go. But Jocelyn was not home, so we dropped our team off at his house and went back to the pad for dinner. Elder S. is really a strange fellow. Earlier today, he wanted me to call some members to get them to feed us because our dinner canceled. When I told him that I hate to call last minute and burden members, he tried to make me out to be the bad guy because I am keeping the members from being blessed. Also, when we taught Rodney, him and Melissa said they were fasting for everything to go good for the baptism and for his family to accept it. I asked Elder S. if he wanted to fast with him, and I told him that I would. Elder S. told me that I should not have asked him to join the fast. I really don't know why. Elder S. always tells me that he thinks my sister is cute. I like Elder S., and I think that he is a great guy, but I don't think that I would want to be related to him. There really is not any chance that my sister would marry him anyway. He is far from being her type. I received a letter from Mom today. Saturday, the 24th of April, 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. We had zone tracked an Elder A's area this morning. I went with Elder B. We knocked on 7 doors, talked to 4 people, and taught 2 discussions. One lady we taught was nice, but told us that another visit would not be necessary. The other lady that we taught set up an appointment for us to come back. As soon as we left the zone track, Elder S and I had to go to our chapel to meet Sister Key in Chelsea. When we got there, we could not find a place to park at the church. Come to find out that Brother Key's daughter was having a baby shower. We ate lunch, and then they wanted us to play in a game where all of the men were to see who could finish a baby bottle the fastest. I utterly refused and was chastised by Sister K. Anyway, we taught Chelsea the 3rd discussion and talked to her about my plan to get her mother to give permission for her to be baptized. We had 2 appointments canceled. We tracked it, but we were unable to teach anyone. But we did meet some nice people, and they were able to help him. We were able to help a man unload his truck. To make a long day short, most of it was a wash. We got home at 19:30 for dinner, night plan, and Elder S's English study. Somehow I managed to offend Elder S when we were filling out the paper for PEC, and he made a mountain out of a molehill. He started to change things that I wrote on the paper, so I told him not to change it because it was correct. He got mad and said, "Elder Curl, don't say that again." I told him that the next time he said that to me that I would really be pissed off because I am really getting tired of him telling me what to do. He usually second guesses me as if I am somehow incompetent. When he says things to me, I usually don't say anything in return. I want him to know that I only want to help. I am trying hard to be his friend, but I don't know how. He gets offended more easily than all but one girl that I have known. I want to ask for President's help, but I am scared to because if I do and Elder S finds out, he will likely hate me for the rest of his mission. The F family dropped dinner off at our pad. We had a little bad news tonight. I found out that the tabernacle will not be available for the baptism on the first day of May. I told Elder S that the night that we committed Rodney for baptism, but we need to schedule the tab so we can use it as soon as possible. He got upset and wanted me to wait. I told him that if we wait too long, we might not be able to use it and have to look for another place. Surprise, surprise, I was right. Whenever a member who does not know me yet asks me where I come from and asks my state, Elder S butts in and tells them about Cambodia. He tries to tell everyone we meet about Cambodia. One man we tracked it into, when Elder's son told him about Cambodia, he said, "When you go home, you need to take some of your friends back with you. There is too many people from that part of the world over here." Today, Elder S got mad because I would not agree to let him burn a copy of my CDs. I told him that it is not legal or ethical, and I would not feel right about it. He told me that I am too honest, and he told me how poor he is and that he can't afford to buy the CD and I should help him bend on the honesty. And because I would not, he said that I had not charity. He said, "Sometimes it is not good to be honest all the time. If it does not help you or your friends, you should not be honest." I told him that if I were to die and people would only remember one thing about me, I would choose that the one thing would be that they have to remember that I was an honest man who could be completely trusted. I would rather die honest than live because I lied. He said, "I thought you were my friend, but you won't help me." I said, "I thought that you were my friend until you tried to get me to break the law and got upset when I would not." Sunday, the 25th of April, 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. This morning, Elder S was still mad at me and would not talk to me. We met Brother K at the church for a correlation. When we parked, Elder S. got out and ran in before we turned the car off. When correlation was about through, Brother K asked me where my tie was. I don't know how, but I managed to forget to wear a tie. The bishop looked for a tie and could not find one, so we went back to the pad for a tie. On the way back to the church, Elder S. told me that the reason that he does some of the things that he does is to make sure that I am doing it right. When he said this, I really got mad and wanted to pull over and tell him to get out, but instead I smacked my fist on the steering wheel and yelled, "What the heck? Don't you don't need to make sure that I'm doing it right. I have been out a lot longer than you. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I am not incompetent. You don't need to check my paperwork. Do you know how many times my area book received a perfect score?" I then told Elder S. that I am not trying to be the boss. I try to be equal with him, and he won't let me. In word council, I explained the new paper, and then I had Elder S. report. After we were at church a while, it was good, and Elder S. talked to me again, though he still acted a little cold. In Relief Society, Elder S. and I had to tell them our favorite song, and why. I told them that some of my favorite hymns are the patriotic ones, and told them how important my freedom is to me. Then we went to Elders Quorum. I entered one question and was made to answer them all. After Elders Quorum, Brother L, the one who had reserved the tab for the 1st of May, said that we could use it at 1700 on that day for their baptism. After church, we changed and then went to see a man that we tracked it into on Saturday, but he was not there, so we came back to the pad for personal study. I fasted today that everything would go well with Rodney's baptism and that Chelsea's mother would let her be baptized. I also fasted that Elder S. and I would get along and that Elder S. would realize that I don't want to hurt him, but only want to help. We had a few appointments, but they canceled, so we had personal study. We tracked it for over an hour, but we were not able to teach anyone. Most of the rest of the time, until dinner, was uneventful. We had dinner with the T family. After dinner, we went to the missionary fireside and forgot our suit jackets at the pad. But since I had to give the invocation, we did not have time to run and grab them. After the fireside, we went home to plan, etc. When we got to the pad, there was a strange message for me on the machine from that strange lady that I talked to on the phone with a few days ago. She wanted me to call her and visit her at Queens Medical Center. When I called the number she gave and asked for her, the name that when I asked for Heva, the name that she gave me, they had no idea who it was and called it. So I called the other number she gave me and her friend's number and asked for Heva, but the lady who answered had no idea who it was because her mother, Sister T, had called me a few days ago and asked me to give her daughter a blessing, so I decided to call her. When I called, she acted like she had no idea who I am, so I said that I had never called me and said that, "Sir, I am going to tell you goodbye now." And she hung up on me. I tried to call the bishop, but could not get a hold of him, so I called Brother C. He told me that she is in the mental ward of the hospital, and her name is really Michelle. And the reason that her mother hung up on me is that she does not want anyone to know about it. A little while later, the bishop called in response to my message and told me the same thing, and he told me not to worry about going to see her, that he has it taken care of. I am glad that I don't have to worry about it. She has been calling the APs a lot, and I think that she scares them. Monday, the 26th of April, 2004. Mostly clear, but it rained today a little, cold and windy. I got up at 0500 to do my laundry and write letters. I wrote my Aunt Linda and my Aunt Rhonda and sent them pictures and a copy of a story from the Ensign. I sent Mom and Sister Being and Grandma Mother's Day cards. I also sent Mom a copy of the story. The name of the story is My Quest to Forgive. It is a story similar to my mother's story, and I thought that it might help. I had Brother C print the story for me from the church's website. After devotional, we went shopping and then came back to the pad. I spent most of the day studying math. The president gave me permission to study math because it in no way interferes with the gospel, and he knows about my situation growing up. We had dinner with the C family, not the first counselor family, but the other one. I shared the dinner message. We planned the next day at the usual time. Tuesday, the 27th of April, 2004. Mostly clear, hot, and windy. At district meeting, Elder P had us play Red Rover. A few times I was picked because they thought that I was too small to break through, but both times I made it through. District meeting was about inviting. We had lunch at the pad. I received an invitation for my cousin Miles Fanning's graduation from Southern Missouri State University. After lunch, we met Sister A at Doreen told us that she had something that she needed to tell us. So I immediately thought that she was going to tell us that she was really a man, because when I first met her, I thought that she was a man. Sure enough, Doreen said she does not know if she wanted to learn more because we don't really believe in her lifestyle. And then she told us that she was really a man who had undergone surgery and became a woman. We taught her a discussion with principles from most of the discussions, and then I asked if she is happy the way she is, and she thinks that she would change. He said that he likes the way he is and will never change. I decided that it was hopeless, but I left him with a pamphlet for the second discussion and asked him to read about the visit of Christ and the Americas and the other things we had previously mentioned, and then to pray about them. We then tried to see people from the old finding efforts. Street contacted, visited old investigators, and tracked it in with no visible success. So when I told Elder S that Doreen had a sex change, he couldn't believe it because he said, "No, it looks like a woman to me." And he didn't understand the whole sex change thing because that's not something that they do in Cambodia. We had dinner with the K family, stopped by the church for a few minutes, and talked to Chelsea, and then we visited the B family, a part member family. I tried to set up a family home meeting, but they said that it would have to wait until after Mother's Day. Wednesday, the 28th of April, 2004. Clear, hot, and windy. We had a return appointment with Dr. W to finish my root canal. He said that it was kind of hard because I have such a small mouth and the tooth is so far back. After the dentist's appointment, Elder S and I had lunch at the pad, and then we had week plan. About halfway through week plan, Elder S got to feeling so sick that he called the office, but then I had to make him follow the directions he was given. When it did not help, Sister B, the office sister, told him to lay down. I let him sleep as long as he wanted, which was about an hour and a half. When he felt better, we went tracting and taught one man. The man that we taught said he had a hard time believing that there is any benefit to serving the Lord because of Job and others that were faithful and really got taken advantage of. We talked to him for almost an hour. We met Rodney and Melissa at the church and taught the fifth and sixth discussion. He had a lot of questions because of things other people told him about the church, but we were able to resolve his concerns. He thought that we held the Book of Mormon to a higher standard than the Bible, and he said that if that was the case, he does not think he could be baptized. I assured him that we believe the Bible to be the Word of God. But I was a little dishonest when I said we didn't hold the Book of Mormon to a higher standard, because the Book of Mormon is held to a higher standard in the church. After our appointment with Rodney, it took 2.5 hours. We went to the pad a half an hour early to eat dinner. I worry about Rodney a little. I hope that he is getting baptized because he knows that the church is true and not because of Melissa. The only good reason to be baptized is because you know and feel that the church is true. Thursday, the 29th of April, 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. This morning, we had an appointment with Val, but he canceled, so we tried to follow up on other people that we found before and an old media referral, etc. We taught the first discussion to a very inactive old woman who went to another church for over 30 minutes, close to 40. We had lunch at the pad and then tried to visit people. We visited people from the old investigator list, etc. We walked down the street trying to meet people, and an inactive returned missionary sister gave us $20 each. I tried to stop her, but she insisted. We tracked it for a while and then went to the tabernacle to meet Rodney and Melissa. Elder P, Elder S. Melissa showed up at 1800 like planned, but told us that there was a slight problem because Rodney's boss, who is an inactive member, did not want him to get baptized and was making him work late. Elder P and C had an appointment for dinner and an appointment to teach a second discussion, so we had to split up. Elder S stayed with Elder P, and I took Elder C in his car to their appointment. It was very hard to find a place to park when we went to pick up dinner, but we finally found a spot. Dinner just gave us pizza to take, and then we went to our next appointment. It was also hard to find a place to park. When we showed up to teach the lady, I thought that we might not be able to teach because the person who answered the door said that she was sleeping. In a few minutes, she came to the door, and she was in the restroom not sleeping, and invited us in. I wound up teaching almost the whole thing by myself because not only is Elder C not very green, but he forgot the discussion. After teaching the second discussion, she had some questions about the authority, so I also taught the part of the third. She does not know if she will be baptized yet, but wants to pray. She agreed to come to church on Sunday and said that she came last week but did not let anyone know and only stayed for part of the sacrament. The Spirit was definitely present during the discussion, and I asked how she felt, and she said warm and peaceful, so I told her that it was the filling of the Spirit. I thought that the discussion went very well, and we set up an appointment for next Thursday for the same time. We met Elder P and Elder S at the tabernacle at 20:30, 30 minutes later than we planned. Elder C made it interesting because he really did not know where to go, and I had to look at the map to see where I was supposed to turn. I found out that the turn signals did not work, so I wouldn't stick my arm out the window to arm signal. Elder P told me that Rodney is really solid and has a testimony. I am really glad that everything worked out tonight and that Rodney will be baptized on Saturday. I am also glad that everything worked out for Elder P's investigator. I really wish, though, that she had accepted the invitation to be baptized. I think that she will eventually be baptized. I wanted Elder S to go with Elder C, but he could not because Elder C is not certified, so he can't drive. When we got to the teaching appointment, I was glad that Elder S did not go because his English is not up to the level where he would have been able to answer the questions, and Elder C is most definitely not able to stand on his own yet. Friday the 30th of April 2004, clear, hot, light wind. We were supposed to do service for Charlene, Travis's mom, this morning, but when I called, she said that she had to work because she was called in. We dropped Sister S's book off at her house, and then we dropped our baptism suit off for Melissa's father because he is going to baptize Rodney. All the rest of the morning we spent sitting in the truck at the park talking because Elder S got offended again. He got mad because I said tonight that I want to talk to Brother Al about fixing our pad, and he thought that it would take too long and would interfere with his English study. When we came back to the pad, Elder S. just went in the spare room and did not come back until 13:30. I received a very nice personalized card and letter from my mother. Even though some of the words were misspelled, I really love the card and think that it is the best thing that she has sent me in my whole mission. We did not teach anyone today, but we did talk a lot of people and invited a lot of people to the baptism. John said that he wanted to go, so we asked the Ian's family to give him a ride, and they accepted. We had dinner with the F family, and I shared the dinner message. When we got home, I had brother Al, who was our landlord, come over so that I could show him what is needed repair and let him know what it will cost to fix it. He was happy that I want to fix it because all of the time the missionary has lived there, I am the only elder who has ever offered to fix anything. I told him that I am more than happy to fix the place up for them. Saturday, the 1st of May, 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. We had zone tracked in Hawaii, in the Hawaii Kai area today. I went with Elder P, and we tracked probably one of the rudest streets in town. Elder P called it Amonaiha, the Alma chapter 8. Almost everyone we met was rude, and then we met one young lady who was very nice to us. At first, it caught us off guard, and neither of us knew what to say. We both thought that she was a member. I told her who we were, etc., and we talked a while. She is Catholic and is not interested, but she was the nicest person that we met on the whole street. Way down the street from her, we met a man who was not nice at all. Elder P asked him how he was doing, and he did not answer, so he asked again. Finally, the man said, "You have nothing to offer me." Elder P said, "How do you know? Have you heard our message?" And he said that it is a bunch of lies. Elder P then asked him if he prayed about it. Instead of answering, he asked how old we are. Elder P said 20. Did you pray about the message? He then told us that we were just young guys who don't know anything and are trying to teach people what is what. A little while later, he started swearing at us and telling us that we are effing a-holes who does not know a thing about life. Elder P and I were both pretty ticked off and wanted to say something. I chose not to, but Elder P chose to say, "You need to grow up, sir." This really made the man mad. He swore at us until we got out of the hearing range. We had worse luck than anyone else. When we left Zone Tract, it took an hour to get to our pad because of the heavy traffic. We ate lunch at the pad. We visited some old media referrals and then went to the tabernacle to fill the font and set up for the baptism. The baptism went very well. Rodney was baptized by Melissa's father and also confirmed by him after the baptism. During the intermission, I just read a couple of my favorite poems. I was really happy to see John there. Not only did John come, but he brought his cousin. After the baptism, we took pictures and had to stay late because I was responsible to make sure that everything is clean, all the lights are off, and that the building is locked up. When we got home, we only had enough time to do night plan. Sunday, the 2nd of April, 2009. Mostly clear, hot, light wind. A little liquid sunshine. Last night, we could not park close to our pad because of our neighbors had a party, and there was no place to park, so we parked on another street. This morning, I noticed a scratch on the front driver's side of the fender and called Elder S to look at it. I asked Elder S if we had hit anything because I did not think that I hit anything, and he told me that he is sure that we did not hit anything. I really don't remember hitting anything, but I am not completely sure that I did not scrape something while backing up. That Elder S is always outside backing me up and said that we did not. In word council, I mentioned Doreen, and Brother Key asked me why we could not accept him as a woman. I sat quiet for a moment and then said, "I can't believe you asked that. It is an abomination in the sight of the Lord. In the times of Moses, it was punishable by death, and Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of it. You cannot be baptized unless you repent, and you cannot repent unless you change, and he is completely unwilling to change." Later, I told Brother K that I was sorry that I answered his question the way I did, and I was caught off guard by it. He told me not to worry because he needed it. I was definitely, at that point in my life, I was definitely not very affirming of trans people or gay people. I was very, that point in my life, I was extremely judgmental of people's lifestyles. John did not come to church, but Jared and Julie did. Rodney was ordained to the office of priest during Elder's Quorum, but Elder S. nor I stood in the circle. After church, we were asked to give a blessing, and we were to help Brother S. bless Alta and Carmen, some recent converts. Elder S. anointed anointed Alta, and I anointed Carmen. Brother S. blessed both of them. We came back to the pad at 1300 for personal study. During Gospel Principles class, Sister S. asked Rodney to share his testimony, and he shared the strongest testimony that I have ever heard from a new convert. He said that while he was making a delivery, he was thinking about what we had taught him, and he saw the clouds open up and two hands together as if praying, and he knew that what he had to do is pray and find out if the things that he was learning is true. He said that night, as he prayed, such a strong feeling came over him that he knew it was true. He said that when he was baptized, he felt good and clean and felt the same feeling, but he felt it even stronger as he was being confirmed. I was so happy to hear how strong his testimony is. We tried to see a few investigators, but did not have very much success. We visited the L family and then went tracting. We tracked it into Sister T, the one who hung up on me about a week ago, and she invited us in. She told us that Brother T is in the Capellet ward, is her son. We had dinner with the C family. After dinner, we stopped by the bishops to find out information on the ward members. There are so many blasted people in the ward who are inactive. Well, I guess that is the end of this journal, so I will sign it just for the heck of it. Well, that's the end of this journal, so I guess that's the end of this episode. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to comment down below, and I'll do my best to answer your questions or concerns. With that said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode.